Welcome to Xtra, presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. You can follow Xtra on Twitter at Xtra VDG. Be sure to follow Xtra on Twitter at Xtra VDG. Check out the website as well. That is xtra.vdgsports.com. Once again, that is xtra.vdgsports.com. You guessed it. This episode is not, I repeat, not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me, all things Vince. My whereabouts, what I'm thinking, what I'm not thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm concerned about, what I'm projecting, basically all things Vince. And one of the main reasons why this isn't being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com is because there are a lot of these that's already been sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com, where you can go to the website that I just named. And if you need help spelling it, I suggest you ask a friend. Or you can go back and review some historical documents where I did spell it, and it is there. There's a YouTube as well. VDG Sports, everything is there. Like, subscribe, and share. Or do whatever it is you do there. Comment as well. Comment if you may. If you must. Just go ahead. Noobs, thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. That's all I can ask for. It's an opportunity and a chance, and you have given me that. And I'm many thanks. It's an honor, and hopefully I live up to my own expectations. If not, thank you once again, because you did not have to give me any of your time, even if it's 1 to 10 seconds or even 30 seconds. It doesn't matter. I'm still honored. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like it's every day, but it's not every day. It just feels that way. We still have this special, unique bond that we are trying to figure out what it is, although we don't have the word combo or combination to come up with, and no one's created a word as of yet. We know what it is. We know what it is. It's special. It's unique. It's what we share. And I know we share this. And since we share this, we not necessarily have the same thought process. We don't really necessarily have the same thought process, but we do understand opinion. We do understand thoughts. We do understand that we can't always be right. And our beliefs, our system, our skill set, or something that we did a certain way, or something that we think to a certain degree, or our principles, we can keep them. We understand them, but we don't go batty, boo, boo when they're called into question. And we're also open to understanding or getting a different point of view, because not only are we forward thinkers, not only are you our forward thinkers, and I'm not going to say free thinkers because that's been coined and that's been taken, and I don't want us in that category. I don't want us in that category, but if you already are, no judge zone, and just be very, very aware. Be very aware. And I'll leave it at that. We're free thinkers, and we're also able to think outside of our process to get a better understanding of a different point of view and a different process, and able to take that level and even go up another level and to anticipate and know what will be next. What is the end game? How do you get there? But after that has been accomplished, after that feat has been met, what is next? So not only do we think on that level, it's also forward thinking, and it's also in-depth thinking, and it's not necessarily just linear thinking either. And that doesn't mean we're sporadic. That does not mean we're sporadic. Granted, there's nothing wrong with being sporadic or having sporadic thoughts. The shiny objects get me too sometime. The shiny objects get me too sometime. And the reason I'm bringing all this up, and the reason I am saying this, because now it's been happening, but it seemed like it's more prevalent, and it seemed like it has taken over the world just a bit more, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere now. Having what you believe, having your thoughts, or having something that you cherish to the umpteenth degree, question or criticize, and not criticize in a negative connotation way, but criticize as in having that principle, having that system, having whatever it is broken down critically, having critical thought applied to it. And that's in that sense, in that frame. It seems as though a lot of people can't handle that. And I'm not setting up a straw man argument here. And I can go in specific details because there are many, but I don't want this to get dragged down and bogged up in that. And that's why I'm saying a lot. That is why I'm saying a lot, because I don't want to get stuck in the weeds when the point is to understand the purpose of the forest. Yes, the weeds are important. Yes, the weeds are part of the forest. But let's not just focus on that. And that is basically the reason why I say a lot. That isn't the main point I'm trying to get across, basically. That isn't the main point I'm trying to get across. And I want to move it forward, and I want to move forward. And that's why I'm saying a lot of people don't fully get, don't fully understand what it means to have whatever it is broken down or criticized in the sense of critical thinking. Whereas, okay, just because this is so doesn't mean it is so. And I'm getting there. I'm getting there, peeps. And this is one of the main reasons why I don't necessarily go back and forth with people and peeps on social media, because I'm the opposite. Actually, I am the opposite. And that's why I say, if you are consuming this, and if you are consuming me, and if you're not a noob, if you're a reg, you get this. You get this because this is what we do. We take complex things, we break them down, we put them back together again. We find what's relevant or find an efficient way to move forward. And it's not about being right or wrong. It's about finding out the truth, being hold and emboldened to the truth, and or efficient. Because I point this out a lot. You go back and review the historical documents. Efficiency is one of my main driving forces, is to be efficient. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I don't care if my principles are questioned. I will look into it. I will not feel some kind of way. I will not feel some kind of way, get all caught up in my emotions. If I am questioned, if I am critiqued, if I am put on the spot. When you want to learn, when you want to grow, when you want to be a better version of yourself all the time, if not most of the time, if not always, you have to intake information. You have to intake ideas. You have to intake point of views. Sure, you can easily push some of them back because they're batty, boo, boo. But you understand, or you take that understanding of where did it came from? How did it get there? Why is this that way? So you can even push it aside, but yet there are more ways to break it down and try to get a better cop a better feel for it. You're not necessarily just pushing it back and just saying, no. Sure, you may say it, you may think it, you may make some jokey joke, while at the same time, you are still trying to get to the why, get to the different reasons of how did it get here. There's got to be some universal truth. And I've mentioned this many times. That's probably where I will push back and just stop. I won't necessarily entertain universal truths that we hold to keep a society being a society and not just random chaos, or not just chaotic moments all the time. And even then, I will look into it and say, where is this coming from? Why is this being pushed? And what is the reason behind it? So I can get an understanding of how to push back, if not push it off completely, and just get another level of thinking about it. And when you think or get another level of thinking, that's where a little empathy comes from. And also, that's where being able to be cordial and have a truthful debate, a truthful conversation where two people can disagree and still have respect for one another. And that's where I think that is a lost art, or better yet, it's gone. People don't care about that anymore because feelings get hurt, and people don't want their feelings hurt, and people don't want to be questioned, or people want to always be right, or this is just unintended consequence that came from the trophy generation. Everyone gets a trophy generation, the participation trophy generation, where you can just live in your echo chamber and you can be in your echo chamber and everybody's right and everybody should be celebrated and everybody. So when there's a difference of opinion, when there's a difference outside of that mechanism, of that system, then they can't be right, because everybody is a winner. Everybody gets a trophy. My idea can't be questioned. That's where I think they came from. But I am willing to listen to different opinions on that. Because once again, information intake, once again, all about getting more input, more information, and utilizing that to grow and move forward as a human being. And as I was saying, that's basically definitely one of the main reasons where I stopped engaging in all kinds of frivolous conversations on social media. Because what I realized quickly is it's not about the sharing of ideas most of the time. It's not about the sharing of ideas in an honest, truthful debate. It's about being right. And it's about demonizing someone or groups or people that don't have the same thought process or don't share your same agenda or don't share your same principles. So I'm right. This is how I live. This is the only way to live, and this is the only way to be right. Therefore, you have to be wrong. Your way of living is wrong, and all things that's not how I see it is bad, not good, and wrong. And when you get into something like that, or if it's stuck on net, there is no way forward, because you are in a situation where it's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable, and I'm not going to say it's a no-win, because it's not about winning and losing in that situation. It's about sharing ideas or being able to critique ideas or principles, being able to grow as a group, grow as a society, grow as a fan base, grow as in moving the conversation forward, and not just being stuck in a I'm right, you're wrong. What you say, what you do, what you believe is wrong, and there's no way that it can ever be right, because what I believe, what I say, what I think is right. I just don't have the time for that kind of engagement anymore. I will give it the time that needed be. Try to understand on another level, because engaging won't help. And I'm not saying that if you want to or you shouldn't engage, period, at all. It depends on the situation. It depends on what you can. You have time. Maybe, just maybe, it can work out. And I'm not saying don't try, because I'd rather try and fail than fail to try. However, at the same time, my time is extremely valuable and important, and there's no sense of wasting it on a situation that's not going to be fruitful in the end. Therefore, I'll just skip, or not even skip, understand that step and move on myself to the next step, and see where this is coming from, and see why it is, how did it develop, where it came from, how did it develop, who's pushing it, and all of the other things, what have you. And I say that because it used to be in some circles, and it was easy, affordable. And I will have to admit, and it took me getting to a different level. It took me getting to a different level to understand that just putting your head in the sand and just avoiding it, it may help. It may work for just a couple of days, a couple of years, a couple of decades. But then it just keeps growing and growing and growing And when it's everywhere, there's nowhere to not engage. There's nowhere to just put your head in the sand and just ignore. So now I'm at that point where it's like, okay, I get it. I understand. And I'm going to take a different approach because the previous approach isn't presenting the results that I would like it to. Therefore, I want to do something different because what I've been previous doing hasn't been to my liking, and I want to change. And that's a thing right there. But as I mentioned earlier, we are able to take different opinions and take different information and rattle it around and get an understanding and maybe modify a position, maybe modify a principle, or maybe interpret it or be able to put it into how we operate. Not everybody's built. Not everyone's built like that. And I'll say, I figured that out. That came along to me when I took my critical thinking class at the university. It happened when I took an English class back at my university. And I took this English class, and we had to write paper, and they were like guidelines on different issues that we had to write on. And I took in all of the issues, controversial issues, mind you. And I took a controversial issue, and I structured my argument to a certain way that it was definitely one-sided. It was definitely one-sided. I did let it be known that I did recognize different point of view. I did recognize another side of it. But here's the thing. This is English class. And this professor definitely opened my eyes. Then and there, my eyes have been open since. Because now it's just activated. I don't even think that's a word. I just made it up. Well, I think I know what I want to say. My pronunciation of the word is not on point, not on par. So I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Simple fact of. I need to look at it, re-look at it in the dictionary, look at how to pronounce it, and then I will bring it in my vocab, my lexicon. Right now, just erase that out your mind. She opened my eyes to the fact that okay. There are ample ways of getting your point across and actually being genuinely respected a different point of view. I took a stand on a controversial issue, and I had all my facts lined up. I had my personal account lined up, like personal things that actually happened along with facts, along with different counts. The argument was structured in a sense where there was no way that you can't come from and not at least acknowledge that. Okay. But the thing with this that was my first draft. My first draft went that way, and we were broken down. We're broken down. I had a group. It was me, and I think another guy, and two girls. And they read my argument. They read my paper, and they were blown away. They were blown away, and they not necessarily agreed with my position, but they understood came from, where I was coming from, where I came from, with that opinion was heavily backed up with a completely logical and argument. And they really did help me out. They helped me out. I mean, it was good for my ego, and my super ego, my super ego was in the back, super ego was my back and chauffeured. It didn't necessarily help me grow as a person. It didn't necessarily help me improve my thought process, or improve my argument, or improve my view, and outlook, society, and life in general. So when they critiqued my paper, it was more so critiquing grammatical errors, like maybe not clear on a sentence, maybe that paragraph tighten a little bit more. I was like, all right, cool, fine. So I'm flying high. All right, I don't change this much, fix a few errors, make it fix a few errors, make it more easier in certain areas, certain paragraphs. I did that, in the next critique, or the next draft came, or the next draft critique by the professor. Right. And so she got, and she actually critiqued. She actually put it through the ring. She actually did me a favor. In the sense, she actually questioned my belief. Actually question how did I get where I got to. Or you need to give more you thought, or you need to show more of the other side, understand the other side just a little bit. I'm not talking about facts here. I'm just talking about just the other side, like an opinion or a point of view. Not facts, because facts are facts. So this is more opinion. It's more of a point of view. And so when I got that back, at first I felt some kind of way. I felt some kind of way. I was like, wow, I put so much work in it. The students thought it was, fine, good here. But here, she went through it. And there's like so much, and there's like so many notes, and there's like this, and there's like that, and there's like this. Well, I took that to heart. Not the way you think it. I didn't take it to heart. I didn't get oversensitive about she does not like the person. I didn't personify this. I didn't make it about me. In that sense, my writing style, and that's what I made it about. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing a good enough job to understand. I'm not doing a good enough job to present my argument, and understand how I got there. So I took that writing. I took those errors. I took those suggestions and corrections. I did a little bit more digging. I did a little bit more digging, and I'm not gonna say I changed my stance. I changed my argument. My stance. The gist, and the point I wanted to get across still remained the same. But everything else, how I got there, I changed. How I got there, I understood. And it took me a while. Because I went searching. I went looking deep inside of myself first. Everything pointed inward. Then from that point of perspective, when I got a better understanding of what I needed to do, why I wasn't communicating, or why I wasn't being able to not genuinely give credence to the other viewpoint, I then went outward and started asking questions and started looking at videos and started getting more input, valid, reasonable input on a different point of view and a different perspective, and it landed me where I needed to land. It put me in a position where I was able to not just give an acknowledgement of the other side, but structure my paper, which completely changed, but the gist was still the same. Structured my entire paper on the other point of view, on the other side, and not necessarily talk about why this is wrong, but talk about I understand and I know how they got there. However, I'm here because of this, and I tied it all in together that our common thread is the same. We just view and see it differently. And I was able to do that after many long hours of investigating, many long hours of taking in knowledge, many long hours of doing the things that I needed to do to make that paper not only legit, but to make that paper probably one of the best papers I've ever written in my entire life. And that was that draft. And so the next draft was pretty much the final one. And I gave that draft to the group, and the group read it, and it blew them away. It blew them away because not only, and I'm not doing this to toot my own horn. I'm not doing this to humble brag, and I'm not doing this to boost my own ego and super ego, because that's been done already. I don't need to continuously do it again. And this is just for me to just highlight the larger picture and describing the forest and understanding the forest and not necessarily getting caught up in the weeds. Stay with me, y'all. Or stay with me, you, plural. And it blew them away in a simple fact. How much detail that I put in it. How much different it was. And not necessarily changed or altered my principles or point of view. I was able to understand the other side, the other point of view, and look at it for what it was, as just a different way of looking at a common issue, a common problem, and understanding there is a common trait, or not even necessarily a trait. There's a common thread, and it just ventures and it just breaks off. But that doesn't mean that commonality does not exist. We just go different ways from there. And I definitely put something extremely personal that affected me in my life in there as well. And one of the members cried and gave me a hug and was like, "Wow, I didn't think that someone could write like that or write that, you know." Okay, maybe now I'm humble bragging. And then, and so I got that back, got a few critiques here and there. And when I got the last, and when I got the last draft and had to turn that in, I turned that in. And this professor wasn't the kind to just give grades to give grades or do things to do things. I got that paper back, and I I was proud of the grade I got for the amount of work that I put in, for the amount of detail that I went through, for the amount of just everything that I went through. It was definitely the highest in the class. And there was a note as well on there saying she still didn't agree with my opinion or didn't agree with my end conclusion or what have you. But I actually did make the correction. I actually did follow through on the suggestions that she made. And what I got from that, and the biggest thing that I take away from that, is not necessarily the paper or my position or being able to be directed or anything like that. My biggest take home, and the thing that stuck with me the most, was being able to think not necessarily outside the box, but get out of your comfort zone and actually take the time to engage, take the time to try to get to a different level and try to understand and try to use that as growth and possibly grow. Not necessarily take new information and just completely change who you are, but take new information that's useful to you or that you can use, because all information isn't bad or all information isn't not usable from different point of views and different perspectives. But being able to take point of views, being able to take information in here and there and use it to help mold your principles, help mold you as a person, to help mold you in general, so you can have a better understanding of life, basic things. And that's what I took away from that. That was the most important thing that I got from that paper and got from that class, was being able to take in information, being able to have the way I think or the way I see things criticize, not a negative not a negative connotation, by the way, not a negative connotation, but just question and not take it personally, but just utilizing all of the material, all of information, basically anything that's available, and use it in a way to get a better understanding of something, instead of just saying that this is my way, this is my thought, I don't care about anything else. Sure, I know it's there, but that's it. It's just there. It is what it is. That was the beginning of me being able to think on just more than a linear plane. Just think more in depth. Just think more levels above that. And I know some of you probably are born that way. Some of you probably have family that way. Some of you may have said to yourself, it was like, wow, it took you to college for that? Yep. This is a no judge zone, and that's okay. Everybody doesn't get to the place where they get all at the same time. Sure, think of it as running a race. Everybody doesn't finish all at the same time. And I'm not going to say everybody's a winner, because you know how I feel about that. But in the race of life, you don't get to certain points at the same time. It takes some people longer. It takes some people shorter. Some people never get there at all. Some people can learn from experience. Some people don't need experience or just have natural wisdom. Oh, I'm not upset if you feel that way. I'm proud the fact that I eventually got there, even though it took that class, even though it took that moment. I can look back on that moment with honor. I look back on that moment and it definitely helped me. And that's why I say since then, I've always been thinking on a different level or thinking more in depth on something and not just surface thinking. And that's why I see and have said at the beginning of this, let's not get caught up in the weeds, because the weeds are people that just don't think on that level. And they just, my way, your way, no, my way, and that's it. My way, and that's it. However, you probably, like I said, however, I am taking a different approach. I am taking a different approach because I need to get a better understanding of a lot of things that just makes absolutely no sense to me. And it's not the fact that it makes no sense to me because I'm being biased and judgmental. I don't judge. It makes no sense to me because it literally makes no sense when you put it up against any other thing. And so I just said stuff like that. I don't necessarily engage. I go levels above. Well, we'll see. We'll see.